-40 degrees Celsius, snow 3 meters deep. A convoy of military trucks pushing through terrain that would stop any civilian vehicle within minutes. Engines roaring against the frozen air. 8 wheels clawing for traction where roads simply do not exist. The ground trembles beneath 40 tons of steel and cargo. This is where German military trucks earn their reputation. Not on paved highways or parade grounds, but in conditions that test both machine and operator to absolute limits. The German military has spent decades developing trucks that combine precision engineering with brutal durability that modern warfare demands. Today, we explore 5 machines that represent the pinnacle of German military logistics. From the legendary MAN KAT1 to the cutting-edge Rheinmetall HX3, these vehicles have carried soldiers and supplies across every hostile environment on Earth. When you think about military powers, Germany might not be the first country that comes to mind for vehicles. But here is something most people do not realize. Germany has one of the most advanced defense industries in the world. Companies like Rheinmetall, MAN, Mercedes-Benz, and Krauss-Maffei have been building military equipment for over a century. The German approach to military vehicles is fundamentally different from American or Russian philosophy. Americans build for overwhelming force. Russians build for mass production and simplicity. Germans build for longevity and reliability. A German military truck is expected to work perfectly for 30 years with proper maintenance. That is not an exaggeration. It is a design requirement. Let me take you through the machines that define German military transportation, starting with the truck that became a legend among military enthusiasts worldwide. The MAN KAT1 represents everything that German military engineering stands for. Developed in the late 1970s as a replacement for aging logistics vehicles, the KAT1 entered service in 1977 and quickly established itself as one of the most capable off-road trucks ever built. The name itself tells you something about its intended role. KAT stands for category, indicating a new category of capability that previous trucks simply could not match. At 9.5 meters long, 2.5 meters wide, and weighing up to 16 tons fully loaded, the MAN KAT1 is the backbone of German military logistics. Those numbers do not tell the real story. This truck was designed over 4 decades ago, and here is what amazes me most. It is still in active service today. That is not because Germany cannot afford new trucks. It is because the KAT1 is simply that good. Under the hood sits a MAN D2566 inline-6 turbo diesel engine, 6 cylinders in a row, turbocharged, running on diesel fuel. The displacement is 12 liters, about 6 times the size of a typical car engine. Power output is 320 horsepower. But more importantly, the torque figure is 1,100 Newton meters at just 1,400 RPM. This engine was built to pull, not to race. That low-end torque is exactly what you need when hauling 10 tons of ammunition across a muddy field in winter. The beauty of this engine design is its simplicity. There are no complex electronics, no variable valve timing, no turbo lag management systems, just a mechanical fuel injection pump, a straightforward turbocharger, and robust internals designed to run for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. When this engine eventually needs a rebuild, a trained mechanic can do it in the field with basic tools. The drivetrain is where things get really interesting. The KAT1 comes in 4x4, 6x6, and 8x8 configurations. All wheels drive, all wheels steer on the longer variants, and every single axle has portal gears. In a portal axle, there is a gear reduction at each wheel that raises the hub higher than the differential. This means the entire drivetrain sits higher off the ground without requiring larger tires. The result is over 40 centimeters of ground clearance. For comparison, most SUVs have around 20 centimeters. This truck can literally drive over obstacles that would stop a Land Rover. I find it incredible that trucks designed in the 1970s remain in active service today. Some KAT1 variants have been upgraded with modern engines and electronics, but the fundamental chassis and drivetrain design has proven so sound that wholesale replacement was unnecessary. The Mercedes-Benz Zetros represents a different approach to military mobility. First introduced in 2008, the Zetros was designed from the ground up for both military and extreme civilian applications. It is currently used by the German Bundeswehr, the British Army, Special Operations Forces worldwide, and even oil exploration companies that need trucks capable of reaching the most remote locations on Earth. The specs are impressive. Length ranges from 7 to 9 meters depending on configuration. Width is 2.5 meters, the maximum allowed on most European roads without special permits. The engine is a Mercedes OM 926LA inline-6 turbo diesel, producing 326 horsepower and 1,300 Newton-meters of torque. It meets Euro 5 emission standards, which might seem odd for a military truck, but Germany actually requires their military vehicles to be as environmentally compliant as possible when operating at home. The Zetros comes in 4x4 and 6x6 variants. Both use portal axles similar to the KAT1, giving ground clearance of 400 millimeters. It can ford water up to 1.2 meters deep. It can climb gradients of up to 70%, steeper than most ski slopes. It can handle side slopes of up to 45%, and it can do all of this while carrying payloads of 10 to 16 tons depending on the model. What makes the Zetros special is the integration. This truck was designed in the smartphone era, and it shows. The dashboard has fully digital instrumentation. There is a central computer that monitors every system in real time. Oil pressure, coolant temperature, tire pressure, differential lock status, fuel levels, everything displays on a screen in front of the driver. The cab is significantly more comfortable than older military trucks. It has air conditioning that actually works in desert conditions where temperatures can exceed 50 degrees Celsius. The seats are designed for long operations, with proper lumbar support and ventilation. The idea is simple. A comfortable soldier is an effective soldier. Fatigue causes accidents, and accidents in a combat zone cost lives. Now let us talk about one of the most versatile military vehicles ever created, the Mercedes Unimog. The Unimog deserves mention because it represents an entirely different approach to military mobility. Where the KAT1 and Zetros are large logistics trucks, the Unimog is something closer to a mechanical mountain goat. The name comes from Universal Motorgerät, or Universal Motorized Device, and that universality has made it a fixture in military forces worldwide. The Unimog's signature feature is its portal axles, combined with an extremely flexible frame. The chassis can twist up to 30 degrees, allowing all four wheels to maintain ground contact on terrain that would have conventional trucks balancing on two wheels. This flex, combined with enormous suspension travel, means the Unimog can climb gradients that seem vertical and traverse side slopes that would tip over almost any other vehicle. The current military Unimog U5000 is powered by a 6-cylinder diesel producing around 218 horsepower. That might not sound impressive, but the Unimog is not about raw power. It is about going places that nothing else can reach. The 8-speed transmission with a crawler gear provides incredibly precise control at slow speeds. The central tire inflation system allows drivers to adjust pressure on the move for different terrain types. Military variants of the Unimog serve roles ranging from ambulance to communications platform to light cargo carrier. The German Bundeswehr alone operates thousands of these vehicles in dozens of configurations. When you need to reach troops in terrain that no road serves, the Unimog goes where others cannot. The MAN TGA Military shows how commercial expertise transfers to military applications. MAN, one of Europe's largest commercial truck manufacturers, developed military variants of their TGA platform specifically to meet Bundeswehr requirements while maintaining commonality with civilian trucks. This commonality approach has significant advantages. Spare parts are more readily available. Mechanics trained on commercial MAN trucks can maintain military variants with minimal additional training. The manufacturing base that produces thousands of civilian trucks annually can scale up military production when needed. In an era of stretched defense budgets, these practical considerations matter as much as pure performance specifications. The military TGA uses a reinforced chassis and upgraded axles compared to civilian versions, but the basic architecture remains familiar. The cab tilts forward for engine access, exactly like commercial variants. The engine is a 6-cylinder diesel in the 400 horsepower range, using technology proven across millions of kilometers of commercial service. 6-wheel drive capability and increased ground clearance differentiate the military variant from its civilian counterparts. Portal axles provide the clearance military operations demand. A central tire inflation system allows terrain adaptation. Armored cab options address modern threat requirements. But fundamentally, this is a truck that benefits from commercial scale while meeting military standards. Think about what that means for a military force. Instead of maintaining specialized supply chains for unique military components, the Bundeswehr can draw on the same parts that keep civilian MAN trucks running across Europe. That logistical advantage can be decisive in sustained operations. Now let me show you where German military trucks are heading. The Rheinmetall HX3. Unveiled in 2022, The HX3 represents everything Germany has learned about military logistics over the past 50 years. It is designed to be modular, networked, and eventually autonomous. This is the truck that will serve NATO forces for the next several decades. The specifications are a leap forward from anything we have discussed. The engine is a Liebherr D956 inline-6 turbodiesel, producing 540 horsepower in standard configuration, with options up to 600 horsepower. Torque is 2,700 Newton-meters. This powertrain was specifically designed to handle the increasing weight of modern military equipment. As drones, electronic warfare systems, and other technology gets added to military vehicles, the trucks carrying them need more power. The HX3 comes in 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, and even 10x10 configurations. Yes, 10 wheels, all driven, all capable of being steered. The 10x10 variant can carry over 40 tons of payload while still maintaining true off-road capability. That is almost unheard of in a wheeled vehicle. But here is what really sets the HX3 apart. It is designed for autonomous operation. The truck has provisions for drive-by-wire controls, advanced sensors, and vehicle-to-vehicle communication. The idea is that a single soldier could eventually command a convoy of HX3 trucks, with the vehicles following autonomously while the human handles navigation and decision-making. Rheinmetall has already demonstrated autonomous convoy operations in testing. The cab is fully armored in the military configuration. It can withstand mine blasts underneath and ballistic impacts from the sides. The floor is V-shaped to deflect explosion energy away from the crew. The seats are mounted on shock-absorbing pedestals that reduce the impact of blasts transmitted through the structure. This is the kind of protection that saves lives when things go wrong. There is also something called the Protected Crew Module, which takes the armored cab concept even further. It is essentially a survival cell that can be mounted on different HX3 variants, providing consistent protection regardless of the truck's specific role. The module is rated to withstand 10 kilograms of TNT equivalent under any wheel. The German military has ordered thousands of HX3 trucks. Other NATO nations, including the UK, Australia, and several Eastern European countries, are already placing orders. This is the future of military logistics. Looking at these 5 trucks together reveals patterns in German military vehicle development. First, the commitment to over-engineering is consistent. These vehicles are not built to barely meet requirements. They exceed specifications by margins that prove their worth when conditions worsen beyond planning assumptions. Second, the focus on practical serviceability runs throughout the fleet. German engineers understand that a brilliant design is worthless if it cannot be maintained in field conditions. From the KAT1's field rebuildable engine to the Zetros' accessible filters to the HX3's modular architecture, maintainability is always a priority. Third, the integration of crew comfort as a design requirement rather than an afterthought reflects understanding that effective military operations depend on alert, capable personnel. A truck that exhausts its crew before reaching the objective has failed its mission regardless of its mechanical capabilities. The German military truck fleet also demonstrates how different platforms serve different needs within a coherent overall concept. The Unimog handles terrain that would destroy larger trucks. The Zetros bridges the gap between light vehicles and heavy logistics. The KAT1 and TGA carry heavy loads across moderate terrain. The HX3 represents the future of protected logistics in contested environments. Each platform has its role, and together they provide commanders with options matched to mission requirements. I spent hours researching these machines, and what struck me most was the consistency of the engineering philosophy across decades and manufacturers. Whether looking at a 1970s KAT1 or a modern HX3, the same priorities emerge. Build it tough enough to survive real conditions. Make it maintainable in the field. Give the crew what they need to stay effective, accept no compromises on fundamental capability. So here is my question for you. If you had to cross a continent with no guarantee of roads, no certainty of fuel supplies, and no promise of maintenance support, which of these German machines would you choose? The proven legend of the KAT1? The extreme capability of the Zetros? The mechanical flexibility of the Unimog? The practical reliability of the military TGA? Or the modern protection of the HX3? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know what you think. And if there is a German military vehicle I should cover in more depth, tell me. This channel exists because of viewers who share this fascination with machines built for the most demanding conditions on Earth. If you are the kind of person who appreciates engineering excellence, who understands that true capability means performing when conditions turn hostile, you are exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe and join us as we continue exploring the world's most extreme vehicles. We go places other channels do not reach, covering machines that most people never even know exist. The next time you see a military convoy in training or deployment footage, look at the trucks. They are carrying everything that makes modern military operations possible. And somewhere in that convoy, there is probably something German, built to standards that refuse to accept anything less than excellence. That is the German approach to military trucks. Not flashy, not famous, just absolutely reliable when everything depends on getting through.